viewers and listeners. It is always a pleasure interacting with you. I hope that you have had a chance to look at the videos that we have done before, and even more, that you will enjoy the topic that we have at hand. I'm Dr. Duncan Elliott Tembo. I'll be talking to you on this subject that I've titled, Do Not Die a Copy of Someone Else. Do not die a copy of someone else. You see, I find this topic to be very interesting. Understanding that, there are many times, when people have failed to live who they are, but instead have lived imitating other people. And that is in all aspects of lives. You may notice that even in terms of career, someone is in a career that was decided by parents, or probably that was decided by the people who were sponsoring him. Someone is in a career, that he ended up in because he thought it's the most well-paying career. But in reality, you may find that that does not represent him. It is not his area. It is far from what he's supposed to be. To an extent that, even though he's made progress, he is not able to stand out. He is not able to excel to an extent that he could have excelled if he was in his field, in his area, or if he pursued his purpose. I hope I can start from there. You see, it is important that every person should understand their purpose. Who are you? What are you supposed to be? I know these may sound like, million-dollar questions, but you will notice that every person will have clues of their purpose. They will have ideas of what they enjoy doing. They will have very good ideas of those things that keeps them awake. Two people may look at the situation. To one, it may not make sense, but to the other person, that's everything to him. But there are many times when all that has been ignored, and we have simply ended up, in spaces that are otherwise not ours. And we have allowed, for mediocrity to take lead. We have ended up living, purposes that are not ours. Dr. Miles once said, you see, It's like going to build a house on a plot that is not yours. It's unlikely that the house will be yours because the plot itself does not belong to you. So when you leave a purpose, that is for somebody else, that's exactly what you are doing. It is like a situation where you have oranges and you want to force them to, start giving you mango fruits. Certainly there should be something wrong. Because orange should give you oranges. Bananas should give you bananas. And if you are going to live a fulfilling life, it is best to understand what your purpose is. It is best, to appreciate those dreams that you carry inside you. Inside yourself, you carry so much potential. I'm tempted to, just talk about petrol. You see, time and again, I ask people and say, what comes to your mind when somebody says petrol? Obviously, most of the people tell me fire. And maybe they are right. You see, when you look at petrol, if you looked at it from a distance, you may underestimate the potential that it has. When you dip your fingers in it, and you dip the same fingers in water, probably water would even be slightly warmer than petrol. And you'd think that, what is warmer should be able to, burn with that easy. And petrol would look so innocent. But you see, when you create a conducive environment, when you raise the temperatures, that's when you begin to see how much potential petrol has, or what it is capable of doing. And that's why it drives cars. It is a fuel, on which even economies operate. And that's how important it is. And that is how it is even with all of us. We carry so much inside us. It is just that we have not activated it. We have not created that conducive environment, for it to give out its best. When you look at a seed, in the DNA, it is already determined what it should be. If it is a guava, it's already determined that it will be a guava. As such, it's an error, to expect that it should be a mango when it should be a guava. And when you look at seeds, in fact, as we speak about potential, you see, when you plant one mango seed, that mango tree will not just give you one mango fruit. It will give you many more. And that's how much potential it has. Even if it was, a forest, one seed is actually loaded with the whole forest inside it. It's loaded with the whole forest, you know? And immediately you give it the right environment, it will grow, it will give you seeds, and they will continue multiplying. And before you know it, you know you have a forest. And that's what happens when we are operating in the area, in the space that we are supposed to be operating in. But you see, immediately we fail to operate, in our purpose. Immediately we start operating in the purpose of other people. We are building houses, on plots that are not ours. Our impact will be very limited because, the strengths that we carry, the abilities that we have are such that, they are aligned with the purpose that we are supposed to fulfill. And against that background, if you go in a purpose that is not yours, those abilities, those strengths will not work in a different purpose. Or if they do, they will work in a very limited way. You will not excel. You will not be as impactful as you would have been. And that's not what you're meant to be. You are meant to be you. You are meant to be original. You are meant to live life in full, in line with your purpose. Do not live a life, a purpose of another person. Do not be a copy of another person, but be original. Be you. That is what you are. I know we have heard a lot of things. Probably when we were growing up, we were told that, well, if you want to be successful, you have to be an engineer. You have to be a doctor. You have to do business. And that is what we have internalized. And we have ended up, in those spaces that are not ours. Maybe, you are called to be that great artist, but you have left it. And you are now working as an engineer that is operating below par, because you have left your purpose and you are living another person's purpose. You see, I get inspired when I, read about people who have impacted humanity. I was reading about, Steve Jobs. How he had a very humble beginning, but he understood his purpose and he continued pursuing it. And even though, he had that humble beginning in terms of education, and he proudly says, look, I dropped out. And he says that, if there was anything great that ever happened in my life, it's because I dropped out. But look at what he lived to achieve. Look at the greater things that he has done because he pursued his purpose. Even you and me, if we understand our purpose today and we begin to pursue it, we will find life very fulfilling. We will live that life of impact. We will touch humanity in a very unique way. And we will leave a mark because we are meant to excel. We are meant to leave a mark during our time. I want you to think about this and think about this critically. And I know that everything that you are meant to become, you already feel it. You already feel it. You can feel it from inside. So trust your intuition. Trust your dreams and begin to step out. I hope that you have gotten, something out of this interaction, and hopefully that it should provoke you if you are not already, pursuing your purpose, to start doing that and see how fulfilling life is going to be, not just for yourself, but for all the people who, are depending on that purpose, to have their purposes ignited. Thank you for listening. And also, I ask that take time to, just view the other videos, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and God bless you.